start the session. The topic is very interesting and it is very known to each one of us. It's about leading people in current times. So on that note, you can see as the slide banner, it's all different sort of leaders in different sort of industries, whom we have seen so far. And they have their own leadership style, but there are few things which are very common in all these leaders, which we eventually see and realize that we share the same kind of interest and same kind of you can say the traits which are there in us as well. So all these 120 people, I am assuming that we all are leaders, leaders not only in sense of being a professional leader, but you are leading your family, you are leading a friends group, you are leading a community. So we all are leaders in one or the other way. So on that note, we are moving it ahead. Before we start, I just want to set some, which Peter has already given, so set some very few ground rules. One is that let's make this session very interactive. We would, we will chat and we will write something in the chat box, so that it would be interactive. I would request, if you can just grab a pen and paper, it might, it may help you to write few things or maybe, some interactive activities around. And pardon me of using the official language of this session as English, because I think it will comfort us more when we talk in both the languages. So this is a very simple ground rules what we want to set up. So as we already know the name of the session, it is leading people in current times. So how I have bifurcated the session, I wanted to break it into two parts. One is leading people and other is current times. So let's start with the word current times, what we refer and what we understand about current times. So we all can write maybe in chat box, or maybe if it would be great if it in chat box. What is that one thing which comes to your mind when we talk about current times? Anything, whatever is coming to your mind. What do we refer as a word current times? So if you can just write that. Challenging, okay. Agile, great. Uncertainty, patience, great. Job insecurity, tough time, okay. Pandemic, great. So these are few things which I was looking for. So we are referring that these are the current times, what we are referring right now. So pardon me in asking, then rather whatever words that you guys are mentioning, can we categorize those words into these three sections? One is definitely related to health, what we're talking about. Financial insecurity, yes. Job insecurity and budget and moratorium, and there are a lot many things. And definitely a mental well-being, that there are so many chaos going on and people are not healthy. Hospitals के बारे में हम सुन रहे हैं, media हमें इतना कुछ बता रहे हैं. So we can categorize all our thought process into maybe these three broader categories, right? So this is what we're talking about current time. So now pardon me asking, then what are these? How do we refer these different incidences in past? Were they not current times? Yes, they were. They were current times of that era. So maybe economic meltdown and 2010 ka petrol crisis, then demonetization happened. A lot of jobs have gone and demonetization time. Then GST crisis, and now of course there is COVID. So are these not current times? Current times, how I believe, it is any time which is reflection of that particular moment. That is what we say a current time is, right? So current times को इस तरह से बनाना है कि उफ कितना tough situation आ गया है, then we will not be able to lead it properly. So current times तो ये भी है, अभी हम जो बात कर रहे हैं. This webinar is also a current time. So leading in current times may not give us a right mind frame what we want to do as a leader. How I see it, it is just a situation. If we will not be able to handle the situation properly, it becomes a problem. And then we started handling the problem, not the current times. So if the situation would have been handled properly, तो वो situation बन जाती है. Otherwise वो current, हम उसको उस current times को एक प्रॉब्लम के नाम में कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं. एंड देन वी मेक ऑल पॉलिसीज एंड वी रीड लॉट ऑफ बुक्स, वी अटेंड लॉट ऑफ सेशंस सो दैट वी ऑल शुड लर्न टुगेदर. One thing I don't know how you guys agree to this or not, but this current times of COVID or maybe whatever crisis that we have, it has given us a lot of opportunity to learn so many things together, because this is the time which nobody has seen in our lives. People who have 70, 60 years of experience, people who are just new, as fresh as a college pass out, we all are experiencing it together. So this is something where we all are leading together. So we may or may not need a set of leaders who lead us in this situation, because we all are leading it in our own way. Yes, it would be great if we come together as a unit and then lead and then have a thing and as a thought process and then lead it together. So here we established that any time can be a current time, and current time is a word which is used in a little negative phrase, because we refer current time as a problem. We never say ना वो किसी के घर में शादी होती है तो ये नहीं बोलता currently I have a शादी going on, then they say it is I have a marriage going on. But when there is a crisis, he always say currently I am into a pressure situation. My current times are not going good, because that current times has become a problem for him. So how we should resolve this? What we are all concentrating here is that how as a leader we should resolve this. We are already leading families and families and communities and organizations. So what is the one thing which should come to our mind when we resolve all these problems? So when we talk about resolution of a problem, we have to bifurcate कि problem के भी ना दो हिस्से होते हैं. One, there is a problem where you can do something about it, and there are few concerns where you have no control. So here I would like to introduce a concept of, there is a concept which I want to talk about. So here I would want to introduce that, what are the concerns, how we should bifurcate them, and are they really relevant, in the times of problem for us. So here there is a concept of circle of concern. What is circle of concern? Very simple. There are things where we have very less limit or rather no control. So you can think of, there are lot many things like that. For an example, COVID, moratorium, petrol prices, global warming. We are very much concerned about it, but do we have control on it? Can we control it in a jiffy? No, we cannot. It will still be a point of concern for us, but is it something where we have a bigger contribution to control things? Maybe not. Here we should introduce the concept of circle of influence. What is circle of influence? So when we have a bigger circle of concerns, हमारे पास बहुत सारी concerns हैं, we have to pick and choose the circle of influence from there. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, you should always choose the battle which you can win. Otherwise, if you are fighting all the battles, you will eventually lose all of them. So it is more on the same concept. The circle of influence are the concerns where we have some control or where we can improve the situation. For an example, these situations can be your budget. आप घर का budget बनाते हैं. How you protect your family from COVID or any health disease. Or maybe, your maid is not coming. What will happen? घर में राशन खत्म हो गया. What will happen? These are the area of influence. Or maybe, your productivity, if I talk about professional life. How you motivate your team, that is in your control. So these are the area of influence. So as a leader, what we do is, how leaders approach this problem. Leaders only tell and help people to increase their area of influence. The bigger of area of influence you have, the more control you will have on the problems. This is what a concept is all about. आप जितना बड़ा अपना area of influence बना लेंगे, उतना ज़्यादा आप उन छोटी-छोटी चीज़ों को resolve कर पाएंगे. So this is the concept of area of influence and area of concern. So as a leader or as a normal practitioner also, you should increase the influence area in your life. You choose battles where you can put some efforts, कोविड तो पूरी दुनिया में आ गया है। हमारा इन्फ्लुएंस क्या बोलता है, हमारा कंसर्न ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस होना चाहिए हम अपने आप को कैसे प्रोटेक्ट करें, हम वैक्सीनेशन कैसे लगवाएं, हम मास्क पहने, हम लोगों को बताएं, ऑल दीज आर आर एरिया ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस। यस, एरिया ऑफ कंसर्न इज, यस कोविड है, थर्ड वेव भी आएगा, ब्लैक फंगस आएगा, देयर आर टू मेनी थिंग्स व्हिच आर हैपनिंग, बट do we have a control on it? We can only control on things where we have some influence there. So on that note, we will just take 2 or 3 minutes to do some introspection. If you can just write few points for yourself, for your reference, what are the area of concerns and what are the area of influence in your own life? It can be related to your personal life, it can be related to your official life, your professional life. What are those concern areas? If you are okay, you can write it on the chat box. If you want to keep it to yourself, you can write it on the notepad. We will just take 2 minutes to do some introspection there. So for me, area of concern would be, it's my son's examination. What if, our electricity chali jayegi, ya internet band ho jayega? There could be area of concerns for me. But, my neighbor's dog, he's barking, that becomes an area of concern. I don't think I should put too much of effort there. I can only put effort where I can do something about it. So these are some area of influence and area of concerns, which you can just write on your own way. You want to write it here. A lot of people are writing job security. Yes. Okay. Great. So, as a leader, we should, because it's a very thin line difference. बहुत छोटा सा डिफरेंस है वहां पर, जहां पे हम एज अ लीडर लोगों को बता सकते हैं कि आपका कंसर्न वहां पे करना बनता है, बट क्या आप उस कंसर्न को रिजॉल्व कर पाएंगे? आप रिजॉल्व उसी कंसर्न को कर पाएंगे जो आपके इन्फ्लुएंशियल सर्कल में फॉल होगा. सो द बिगर influential circle you have, the easy you can resolve all these problems. And once as a leader, thank you so much, Aman, Mariel, thank you so much for these comments. So once we start increasing and putting things in the area of influence as a leader, you know what you have done? You are bringing the change, or you are letting people know, which is called a paradigm shift. I hope that a lot of people are aware of paradigm shift, but we will introspect more about it. What do you mean by paradigm shift? So can we see this picture? We all can see that. Can we write in the chat box ki is picture mein kya dikh raha hai hame? What we can see in this picture? Anybody? Face entry, face, okay. All right. Face, a girl, okay. Thank you so much. So this is exactly what my point is. Thank you for letting me know that you all are listening. So this is called paradigm. What is paradigm? What do we mean by paradigm? Paradigm is not what you see visually, not what you see visually. It is about what you perceive, understand, and have an interpretation of that subject. That is paradigm. That is what we say paradigm shift. For an example, there is a very small story which I want to share. Very small story. Ek bar, there was a man in the train who is looking at outside view, and he was so happy to see everything around. Wow, there is a tree. Wow, see वो वहाँ पे नदी बह रही है और कितना अच्छा है और कितनी अच्छी हवा चल रही है, कितना greenery है. And everybody, in the train sitting, just next to him, they were, feeling that, why is he behaving like that, ठीक है, आप ट्रेन में शायद पहली बार बैठे होंगे, but that doesn't mean that you have not seen all these sceneries. So people were, talking and, rather making fun of him. But later on, when somebody had actually stood up and asked him that, why are you behaving like this? It's okay that you are excited, but, why are you behaving like this? He said, I just got my eye operation done, and this is the first time I'm seeing things. So this is the first time I can actually see the green color on trees. So maybe, and when he said that, maybe the paradigm shift has happened for a lot of people who were sitting just next to him. So this is a paradigm shift, what we talk about. So what are leaders do in this paradigm shift? Leaders have the ability to bring the paradigm shift. How? Because they have that eye of detailing. They have that, with their experience and with their lot of judgment, they can see the things in a very different light. They can give you the solution of the same problem, which you may or may not be able to see it because of their own, perseverance of the problem, understanding of the situation, their lot of experience from the, from their previous, previous professional lives. So they are the ones who can give you a lot of inputs. So लीडर्स जो हैं वो एक पैराडाइम शिफ्ट लेकर आते हैं. सो दिस इज व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट लीडिंग इन करंट टाइम्स. You cannot change what is happening in current times, but you can change, you can give them the new perspective of looking at things. This is what a leader should do. This is a job of a leader. So if you are able to bring that paradigm shift, a mindset change, you are the one who can, take it forward. So on that note, what do leaders do to bring that kind of change? ये पैराडाइम शिफ्ट कहाँ से आता है? What do leaders do there? Leaders only play with the mindsets, because लोग तो पहले भी वही थे, पिछले इतने सालों में भी वही रहेंगे. People are same, and we go by books, and we go by a lot of information on Google and Wikipedia, and a lot of leaders who have written a lot of things about mindsets. I am not touching base those 7 side of mindsets and mindsets. I'm not touching all that. I am just talking about those mindset which needs a leader to lead them. For an example, if we talk about there are number of different mindsets. People who have a positive mindset, people who can take decisions, people who are self motivators, people who have that quality of handling the situation. These are the mindsets where leader may or may not give too much of concentration, or rather they do not put a lot of efforts there. For an example, if you talk about a team configuration as a leader, we have all sort of people in our team. So for an example, just assume that you have a 5-member team. You have maybe 1% of a maybe 1% in the team who is self-motivated, who is always full of energy, always very positive, always take things positively, take initiatives, take decisions, aligned with business, aligned with manager. ऐसा आपकी टीम में कोई ना कोई होगा. There are somebody who cribs about situation, but eventually they perform really well. They are not happy what is happening, but when it comes to productivity, I think they are just they deliver more than 100%. So that kind of people you also have. And there are 20, 30, 40% of the configuration of your team where you have people who are always depressed, who are always irritated, who are always anxiety, who always feel why this policy is there, why HR is saying this, why company has taken this decision. So those are the people whom you have to handle, because the rest of maybe 40-50% of the people, you just have to coach them. There is a difference between coaching and leading. Coaching is just giving them the right direction, and they will just go to the next mile, and they will appreciate also. They will always appreciate the kind of opportunities has been given to them. But there are 40-50% of the people in your team or in society or in organization where you have to give a little more effort to understand the traits of their mindset. So what leaders do, they understand the traits of the mindset and then they move it forward. So what they drive traits of the mindsets. They don't drive people, they drive people's mindset. We are just going one level down, then people. लोगों के अंदर वो क्या ड्राइव करते हैं, उनका माइंडसेट ड्राइव करते हैं. How they drive that? So I have bifurcated the entire mindset into 3 parts, the traits of the mindset rather into 3 parts. These are the generally 3 broader categories where you find people in your team or maybe around you. People who have angry mindsets, people who have anxiety mindsets, and people who have depressed mindsets. These are the 3 broader bifurcation of the mindsets of the people, which a leader has to lead. And they are being challenged to lead this kind of people. So here If we'll just go by one, what do we mean by, angry mindset? So angry mindset is somebody who is always feel गुस्सा जिसको आता रहता है ना हर समय कि आप, why policies are this, why economy is going like this, why government is doing this, why Kejriwal has a problem, why PM has a problem, all those whys, and then they feel very angry about it. So how you handle them? I am not giving you a process of handling them because everybody follow their own process, but on a broader light, how we should handle them, this is just a broader line which will help us, all of us rather together, to treat them, better. First is, let them, pour their heart out. Why they are angry? We have to understand this emotion of being angry. कोई एकदम से angry नहीं होता, किसी को एकदम से गुस्सा नहीं आता. उससे पहले he must be irritated. He must be showing his agitation. Once those agitation and irritations were not being, treated or rather heard, then they feel angry about it. So that means we have already passed one stage with them. So now this is the time we should take a back seat. We should listen to them, why they are angry. So one part is that, let them speak out their feelings. Then understand what is that trigger point when they have, started feeling agitated about it. Understand that point instead of killing that moment or killing that incident कि चलो इस समय आप नाराज हो ना तो हम ये कर देते हैं आपके लिए. That will not suffice the purpose because again his trigger will get triggered for some other point and then he will feel angry about it. So you have to fix the trigger point. Just find out the trigger point when you talk to them and let the angriness go flows off from their body. So जैसे हम अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में ट्रीट करते हैं when your kid is angry, your parents are angry, your spouses are angry, your friends are angry, what they do, we let them show their emotions. They want to shout, they want to throw stuff, they want to bang table with their hands. So that is okay. This is a part of the emotion. At that time when we are handling them professionally, do not judge them on code of conduct or maybe on a disciplinary issues or maybe do not pass any judgment कि उसने ऐसे बोला और ऐसे behave करा, because that is the time when you are letting him flowing the anger from his body. So let him do that and then pass any judgment, because this is not the time you take any judgment or you take any perseverance about that person. So don't do that. Let him pour out all his emotions and then fix the problem. Because as per my understanding and as per my experience, it is not difficult to handle angry people. It is only about just find out the trigger. If you find out the trigger, it will be easy for them, because these are the people who are very understanding. They have given you time patiently, showing their agitation and then the irritation. So now they have come to this point. So I think they are very patient people. They will listen to you once you give them a solution. So this is one part of treating this angry mindset. Another is the anxiety mindset. Who are anxiety people? These are, if you think back, these are the people who are perfectionists in their life. They like doing things in their own way. They, because the definition of perfection is very different. It is different for me, it is different for Peter, it is different for anybody. So how I see perfection is very different than how Peter sees it. So is it right कि मैं अपना perfection को reality में डालूं और उसके बाद उसके ऊपर anxiety feel करूं? That's not possible. So whenever you are, so anxiety people, I can give an example in an organization. When you give the ratings in appraisal or maybe the percentage, there are a lot of people who get very anxiety about it. Oh, मुझे लगा था 10% मिलेगा, oh 8% मिला, अब मैं क्या करूं, or what should I do? Should I talk to management? Should I talk to HR? Those kind of balls which they are juggling in their mind. So what you should do? These are the people whom you have to make understand their expectation versus reality. What is actually a reality and what they are expecting out of it. So you should always give them the right picture, the right answer, the right expectation. For an example, these people are very good in executions. They are very good execution leaders. They actually flawlessly deliver things when it comes to execution. So you have to give them the right answers. If they will say, will this project be delivered by Monday morning? And if you think it cannot, just tell them, no, we cannot deliver it by Monday morning. It will take time till Wednesday EOD. So yes, they will feel irritated, but they will understand, okay, this is the reality. So you have to match the expectation of reality and expectation with them, make them understand the problem, and make them understand that what they are expecting is achievable, but not in maybe in the same fashion or in the same timeline. It's very easy. Second way is that, to ask them what is the right way of doing it, what they suggest to do it, how they want to do it. Because, at times, because they come with the same set of, mentality that, they can deliver things better. Maybe we come up with with a different alternative altogether. And, we can deliver it better than what we expect to deliver. So maybe, you can give them a window, you can give them an area or a forum where they can come up with their own ideas. And last is, you should make them understand the difference between should have and must have. We must color this wall black, or we should color this wall gray. Do you think if we will put it in a gray color, it will match up to your expectation? They may say yes, because it is very near to black. But if you will say, no, we will not put it in a black color, they will feel excited about it because it is not going as per their plan. So it is all about how you treat them. This is a category where two-way communication has to happen with the leader and the person who is in the anxiety mind frame. This is not only the listening part of the discussion. Here you have to interact and make him understand in a very positive manner. So this is the anxiety part. The last what I want to touch base is the people who are depressed. So we have to understand how this depression comes. I am not a psychologist, so I will not, get into a nitty-gritty of it. But depression is not a one-day event. Depression is something which is going on in somebody's life, and now it has come to a point that it is so visible that it is coming. It is visible in his personal life, in his professional life, in his social life. Now it is being very much visible there. So these people are, maybe depressed from maybe, since they are 18, since they are 13, they're not able to get admission in their favorite school. They are not able to get admission in the kind of stream where they wanted to go. Unko science lena tha, but commerce lena pad gaya. All those people. They are not able to find the best college as per their understanding. They're not able to get the right job. Or maybe, they're not able to buy a right car, what they want to buy. So all these emotions get piled up and then convert into a bigger hole, which becomes a depression. So all these people, what they want and why they feel this feeling of depression, because these are the people who always need emotional support from some or the other person. Professionally, personally, they need some support system with them. If I want to cry and I am a depressed person, I need somebody's shoulder to cry on. If I am depressed, I want to talk to somebody, I need somebody who can listen to me without being judgmental. So these are the people, and it is very common to see these kind of people. Now, if you see overall stats in entire world, I think more than 15% people comes under a depressed category now. Why? Because now we know what depression word means. Earlier maybe we were not even aware about it, so now we know, and we have categorized that problem into a disease, and now we can put some stats around it. So depressed people are the guys where you have to put a lot of effort, lot of patience, lot of hearing air, lot of support they need from you, professionally and personally. You continuously have to tell them that there is a support system available for you, whether it is office or it is personal life or it is social life. In office, HR is there, your mentor is there, your HOD is there, your colleagues are there, your buddy is there, the infrastructure is there, and your career progression is there, your succession planning is there. There are so many things which can be categorized under support system. So here we have to give them continuous feeding that there is a support system available for you. Whenever you need it, it is just there on the click of the button. On the click of the button, you can just call me and talk to me. So you have to continuously tell them there is a support system available so that they can come out of this depression phase. And it is a gradual process. It will not happen in one day. Then you should ignite the feeling of gratitude in them, which is somehow missing. See, there is a very thin line difference of being thankful and being having a gratitude feeling. Thankfulness is a spur of the moment reaction. You ask me something, you give me something, I say thank you. But you give me a glass of water, I am thankful. I'm not I will not show my gratitude towards you. So there is a very thin line difference. Having a family, having a car, having a job, having maybe a good lifestyle, you should have a gratitude. You should show your gratitude. If you are getting appraised, you should show that gratitude toward the organization. If you are getting recognized, you will get RNR. You should show that gratitude. So making them understand, being thankful and being in showing a gratitude. So this is a feeling which you have to continuously ignite in them. Thankful, आपको gratitude दिखाना है. You should feel that this is there with you. There are a lot of people, there are too much of unemployment in market, but you are the blessed one who has a job and who is earning every month and who can run his family beautifully. So this is the kind of feeling which we should give it to them. And of course, when you say all these things, you will always show them a brighter side of the life, brighter side of the things. So and this is, again, I'm saying it's a gradual process. These people need a lot of appreciations. These people need a lot of encouragement. These people would need a lot of your hand holding support. But as a leader, as a person who is leading a family, who is leading organizations, you will see that these people are your black dogs and black horse in the organization. If these people will stick to you, will get motivated, they are the ones who will actually achieve, you can say, moving the mountain sort of examples for you. So these are the ones where you have to invest more time, but yes, they are the ones who will give you a result in a very longer way. It's a more of a long-term investment that you put on them. So these are three mindsets what I wanted to talk about. So when we say, we have spoken about all these things, what is the crux of the entire matter? The crux of the matter is that we lead people. We are not leading current times. We are leading people in any of the time or any of the pressing situation. We are leading people, and that should be our focus all the time. People should be our focus all the time. That is something which we should always, keep in mind as a leader. And what leaders believes in? They believe in us. So I come from the organization, and my own organization, Trade India. I always say this in different forums in different areas. I come from an organization where everything starts from us. All my leaders, all the management teams, even the organization I've worked earlier, everything starts from the leader. So it starts from the top. जैसे हम देखते हैं ना, मोदी जी भाषण देने आते हैं, पीएम जब हमें वो स्पीच देने आते हैं, he puts a mask. He always say, I have got vaccinated, because it's about walk the talk. He's telling us to do something which he himself is practicing. So these are the things what leaders do. If I tell you to wear formals, because I wear formal. If I tell you to come on virtual meetings, because I do that. If I tell you to work to show your productivity, because I do that. So it you have to walk the talk. You cannot be preaching people. अगर आप preach करने लगेंगे ना, तो थोड़े दिन के बाद ना वो ज्ञान बन के खत्म हो जाएगा. So we do not want to do that. And this is the time when we should show people that if I can do it, you can do it too. See, I am a person who is maybe 40 years old. If I can do it, you are just 28, 29. You can definitely do it, and you can do it better than me. So if you will keep on saying these things, you will gain the trust of people, and people will start understanding why you are saying things. And it would be easy for you to lead people later on. So no, this is how you see things, and this is how leaders see things. So as a crisp a takeaway, how we should lead in current times, these are few points which I thought which is important for all of us to gauge at the end. We should show empathy to whomsoever we are leading. We should embrace the change, because see, you are leading people. हर कोई एक जैसा नहीं होता. हर किसी के पास अलग thought process होगा, अलग problem होगी. So you have to embrace that change. कि okay, उस set of group को मैंने ऐसे समझाया था, तो maybe ये वाला Same example यहाँ नहीं चलेगा. So I should embrace, or maybe, I am learning also something from them. Become a mentor, become a coach. Do not become, only a person who will dictate them. ये करो, ऐसे मत करो, ऐसे करो, ऐसे नहीं करो. Give them the window, the breathing area to these guys so that they can, you should become a coach to them. जैसे हमारे parents हमें सिखाते हैं, more like that. And you should always and always celebrate the success together. Do not make anybody feel, see, I told you that is why you have come to this point. We have come to this point because we have all learned together. That's how it is. So I always quote this example that, my son is 13, right? So जितना साल का मेरा बेटा है ना, मुझे मदरहुड का उतना ही साल का एक्सपीरियंस. So I cannot be telling him that, no, I know better than you. No, I don't know better than you because I am learning with you. I also have 13 years of experience. This is also first time I am leading maybe a teenager. So I am also learning with you, and allow me to learn and make mistakes and accept it. There is no harm in accepting it. So, this is how, I want to summarize it. Just one more thing I want to, highlight it. See, ये जो current times की हम बात कर रहे हैं या जो भी situation की हम बात कर रहे हैं, what is our focus area? Our focus area should not be making situational based policies. We should be making people-centric policies or people-centric approach. I just want to give a very small example, very well known to everybody. Last year when COVID happened, what our government did? उन्होंने monetization announce कर दिया, right? Do you think monetization would have been announced if they would have only thought about economy? No. They have thought about people's sentiment. They thought about, they had people-centric approach. That is why they have announced moratorium. Everybody knew, including us, that, after 6 months or 8 months down the line, we may face this crash down of, economic crisis. But still, they announced it because they were having a people-centric approach. So if a government who is leading such a big country can think about people-centric approach, then why can't we? I'm sure we can also think a people-centric approach. So on that note, on a very quick recap, what I have discussed throughout, there is a difference between situation and a problem. We should always concentrate to keep it more of situational based rather than making it a problem level and then understanding and then resolving the problem. Then what should be your focus area? You should always increase the area of influence for yourself. You should be very agile because you're handling the mindsets. You cannot have a fixed mindset about it. Then being a leader, you should always walk the talk. You do what you say and prepare for future. आगे के लिए अपने आप को तैयार रखना चाहिए. And then, of course, what is the approach? Keep experimenting. So on that last, thing, just one last example I want to quote that हम जब आर्मी ज्वाइन करते हैं ना, जब भी कोई आर्मी ज्वाइन करता है, तो उसके दिमाग में ना एक ही जज्बा होता है कि एक दिन ना मैं देश के लिए लड़ूंगा और एक दिन मैं देश के लिए जान दे दूंगा, ऑल दैट. बट जिस दिन वो समय आता है उस दिन वो ये नहीं बोल सकता, ओ मैंने तो गन लोड करना ही नहीं सीखा, ओ नहीं मैं तो ना खाना बनाता हूँ, या मैं तो डॉक्टर हूँ, मैं थोड़ी ना लड़ने जाऊंगा भले ही मैं आर्मी में हूँ. So they are future ready from the day they join army. So this is the kind of mindset a leader should have, a leader must have. So this is the very small recap. So as at the end, as the monk says, which I always quote, there is it's a very old doha, which we all have read in 7th and 8th standard, which I'm sure everybody must have forgotten. So it goes that, vidya dhan udgam bina kiye jo paave kaun, बिना डुलाए ना मिले जो पंखा की पौन. So I'll explain that to you. जैसे बिना हाथ वाले पंखे को हिलाए हवा भी नहीं आती ना, उसी तरह से विद्या, धन और खेती बाड़ी भी बिना मेहनत करे नहीं आती. तो मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी. You should always believe in sharpen the saw. आप एक ही तरह के माइंडसेट पे काम नहीं कर सकते. आपको अपने हाथ गंदे करके खेत में जाके बीज लगाना ही पड़ेगा अगर खेती बाड़ी चाहिए. पढ़ने अगर अच्छा पढ़ाई करनी है तो मेहनत करनी ही पड़ेगी. धन कमाना है तो परिश्रम करना ही पड़ेगा. तो इट इज अ वेरी सिंपल सेइंग दैट बीइंग अ लीडर you should be the one who will initiate all these things. So on that note, Peter, thank you so much for listening to me patiently, and all the people, 140 people, thank you so much. On that note, I rest my presentation here. and we can have a poll or maybe have a question answer.
Okay, so we have received few questions from our participants. I would like them to share with you. Um, we have a question from Sonam Shrimal. How to handle people who are constantly cribbing and stating assignments with a negative approach, because this affects other team members as well.
Okay, so it is from Sonal, you said, is it?
Sonam.
Yeah. So Sonam, you said. The name is Peter, you said? Sonam, is it?
It's Sonam. Sonam. The
Sonam.
full name is
So Sonam, thank you so much for this question. If we go by the presentation, if you just try to put the that particular person or those teammates into those categories of angry, anxiety, and depressed mindset, where you think you want to put them. Somebody who is coming up with always a cribbing attitude, maybe always compare themselves with others, others have not done it better, I have done it better, something like that. So it is more of somebody who is on the verge of coming from anxiety mindset to depressed mindset, and definitely it comes with the aura that they always give a lot of negative feeling to others. So what we should do here, we should be talking to them and again giving them the opportunity to that you lead the entire assignment, you tell us how you want to do it, you tell us the way you want to deliver it, and if it is agreeable, it is, if it is we come to a point, we come to alternative solution together. If it is workable, then let's work it together. Because if you will keep on giving the feeling of denial to them, it will become more of a depressed and anxiety, or then go to an angry mindset. So give them the feeling of acceptance. Yes, I agree to you. Why don't you tell me what is the best way of doing it? I understand there are few assignments where there is no agility available, where things has to be done the way it is, but still there is a scope where we can tell them at least, okay, I accept your point, you tell me how to do it. So if I say, हम जैसे वो बोलते थे ना स्कूल में कि क्लास के सबसे शोर मचाने वाले बच्चे को अगर मॉनिटर बना दोगे ना तो शोर ही नहीं होएगा क्लास में. So no, this is a mindset which you should drive. So if he's somebody who cribs a lot, why don't you make him an interim team leader of the team and then see how he's doing things? Maybe it will help him to learn things more quickly, maybe, which is not been, you are not been able to do it by your mentorship. Just try doing that. Else you can connect with me. We can just have some more thought process around it and we can do it together. Any
Thanks
further?
so much, Ms. Paula.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a next question from Karuna. Uh, how to handle these people who are always angry and depressed if there is no support system for depressed people? Just following up.
Okay, so if we are talking about professional life, then there is always a support system available. The kind of policies which you make for the organization, you make it for people. You just have to present it like that. This policy is for you. This particular process is for you. It is about how you present your own policy converting into support system. Because see, all the policies, what we say are HR policy, HR makes it for people only. You just have to present it like that. Yes, angry mindset, they are the ones who will not understand you in one go, who will always counter question, who will always give a lot of aggression to you when you say things. But you have to mold and give the same policy in a fashion which is more of which is sounding in their favor. So you should do that. Moreover, when it comes to angry mindset, give them a peace of mind and try to tell them that why don't you write me a mail with this is I'm just telling you my example. Why don't you write me a mail and write all the problems and triggers which you have, because of which leads to your aggression to me or to the management or to the company. Just once they will start writing, they themselves will realize that they are repeating the same thing again and again in the mail, and then it will be easy for you to strike the discussion or initiate the discussion with them. Because once you start writing things ना, तो आधी चीजें तो आपको समझ ही नहीं आ रही होती. So you just tell them to write things patiently, and then you can just schedule a discussion with them. I think that would help. And if it will, again, it will not, you can take my number and we can again chat on this.
Thank you so much, Ms. Parul. We have our next question that is from Mr. Rajiv. So, Parul, when a family has lost a close one, how do I expand uh, my condolence and feel less grieved?
Okay.
Okay.
So I think this is something common which has been happening with everybody. A lot of people have lost their close ones in life. I'll give you an example. It is way back, almost like 18, 19 years. I lost my mother and I was in my first year, I think. And I was the only one in my family at that time who has to manage the entire project, that bringing my mother back home, and then all the rituals. And it was May month, and we have to arrange big ice and everything, and a lot of rishdar has to come, all that stuff. So I always felt that I did not get time to even grieve about it. मैं ना दुखी नहीं हो पाई. I did not have time. But yes, I know that everybody in my family, my father, my younger sister, everybody was so depressed. So what did I do? Or what people should do at that time. First of all, you should always understand that life has to go on. Zindagi to jeeni padegi. So you always should show them the brighter side of the things. There are always ways that you see things in a way कि अब ये नहीं है तो अब क्या होगा. बट आप ये मान के चलिए कि अब ये नहीं है, अब हम कैसे करेंगे. आई थिंक इट विल गिव यू अ बेटर माइंड फ्रेम टू हेल्प देम इन मेक देम आउट ऑफ दैट ग्रीव एरिया. सो आप उसके अंदर क्या कर सकते हैं, व्हाट आई फील, हाउ यू हेल्प अदर्स. Try to tell them that what that person was expecting them to do. What was that person expecting them to cry all day, feel depressed all day, and do nothing, and just एकदम जिंदगी में हताश होके बैठना तो वो नहीं चाह रहे थे ना आपसे. So you have to slowly and gradually tell them that this grief has to go out of your body. So if they want to cry, let them cry. If they don't want to eat, let them not eat for 2 days. A human body can survive without eating for 7 days. So it's okay if they will not eat for 2 days or 2 times. Let them feel that this emptiness will be with them forever, and they have to accept this fact that अब ये इंसान नहीं है, इसके बाद जिंदगी जीनी है. Of course it is not an easy task to do, and I, or maybe nobody, can tell you how to treat them, because they are the individuals whom how, what is their temperament level, what is their maybe emotional level. Them better than anybody in around. But coming from a mindset that these things happens, it happens with a lot of other people, and it will continue happen. Nobody is immortal. आज नहीं तो कल किसी ना किसी के साथ ये हो ही जाएगा. तो जैसे हम फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं कहती हूँ ना कि जैसे हम भगवान की तरह, हम भगवान को सोचते हैं ना, हमने देखा तो नहीं है भगवान को, हम भगवान को सोच कर जीते हैं ना. हमें उन लोगों को, जो लोग चले गए हैं, अपनी सोच में जी कर, उनको जिंदा रखकर, उनको पॉजिटिव, उनको खुश रखकर जीना चाहिए. Because if you are continuously in that negative, in that gray zone of unhappiness, or in that grief, then you will not be able to come out of it. आपको slowly and gradually बाहर निकलना है. But yes, you are the person who is treating them. Give them the window to show their grief. उनको उनके अंदर से, the way I said, angry people, it has to go out of their body. जब तक वो उनके सिस्टम से नहीं निकलेगा, तब तक उनके पास वो पॉजिटिव चीजें सोचने का टाइम नहीं आएगा. So it has to be handled very you have to be very agile. You have to see, you have to take every hour, every day, the way it is coming to them, and slowly and gradually, it is a very gradual process, it will happen. So I always say कि आपकी लाइफ में सबसे ज्यादा क्लोज जो रिलेशनशिप होता है वो आपके पेरेंट्स के साथ होता है. सो अगर आप आपके पेरेंट्स के गुजर जाने से नहीं मरते ना, तो आप किसी के जाने से नहीं मरते. मतलब दिस इज द वे आई सी थिंग्स. सो जो आपको इस दुनिया में लेकर आया है, अगर आप उसके बिना रह सकते हैं तो आप किसी के भी बिना रह सकते हैं. और जो आपको इस दुनिया में लेकर आया है, उसके बिना आपको रहना है, क्योंकि इसीलिए वो आपको दुनिया में लेकर आए, बिकॉज आपकी वजह से आपने भी एक नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को आप दुनिया में लेकर आए. सो यू शुड फील दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी that if you will not overcome of this grief, then what will happen to your family. So you slowly and politely make them understand this thing, and I'm sure it will help. And if it will not help, then we can again put some more thought process.
So true, Ms. Parul. Very helpful suggestions that you have shared with us. We have one of our participants, that is Mr. Selvaraj David, who would like to ask you a question. Mr. Selvaraj, we have unmuted you. You can please share your question out here.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. Thanks, Parul, for very impactful insights you've given. And one of the things you shared with us is that we shouldn't be taking situational decisions. We should be taking people-centric decisions. And you quoted demonetization. Fine. I'm not even going beyond that of the lockdown that happened with 4 hours notice. I'm saying even demonetization decisions like that. Do you think if it's only people centric, do we all shouldn't we also consider what's the impact that's going to have on people who are going to get affected, the families or the businesses or anyone? Do you think we should think in those lines and then take a decision, people centric decision? Like this morning, we took a decision in our own company of certain things, but first we all looked at what is the impact it's going to have happen on our employees' families, children.
Correct. So if I'm understanding it right, you want to connect this incident of demonetization.
That's what the
Authenticity.
example you gave is demonetization, right?
Yeah, so
That's
I
right.
give demonetization as a current time situation, that it is when it comes to current times. So what was demonetization was not current times. I have given the example of people centricity for this moratorium, what I talked about. But still, I'm connecting these two also, that demonetization and people centricity. Is it that government has thought of people centricity approach when they were giving the demonetization, right? So this is something similar to the same lines what you want to discuss about.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So when we talk about demonetization, though I am not becoming an advocate of the politics or maybe the government. It is just that how I see things. I take example of demonetization as if you own an organization or if you are a leader of an organization, when you decide to have layoffs. So when you decide to have layoffs because of some impact which is happening to economy and all that stuff, but you are still responsible, or rather you should be asked a lot of questions and should be raised a lot of fingers on leadership when we announce maybe salary cuts or layoffs or whatever, all those situational based policies, or rather incidences which we have to do. So it is the same thing how I perceive it, that when in an organization we announce all these policies because of some economic meltdown, our people, the employee of the organization, see us in the same light the way we are seeing government for demonetization. Demonetization करने की क्या जरूरत थी ना? What is the use of having demonetization? So same thing, employees also ask questions to leaders. Are you not capable enough to give me a salary? Have I not given my time and energy to this organization? Why am I in that list of getting laid off? So they also ask us the same question. So when it comes to anything which is people centric but not in favor of people centricity, we should be ready with all these questions. The same way, I'm sure government must be ready and they have been answering, or maybe they are not answering the questions based on demonetization. But I am just giving a reflection of demonetization in the organization, that when we take such a strong decisions and we know that it will impact our employees, we know it will impact their families, we still bound to take those decisions. So these are the things where the empathy comes, and which is expected us as a leader. Because the way we communicate problems, I'm sure you must have had a lot of these incidences in your organization and in your overall career span, that where you have to take a very strong decision and you knew that once you take that decision it will impact a person, then where this people centricity has gone, then you must have also asked this question to you, कि अब तो मैं people centricity की बात ही नहीं कर रहा ना, because I'm letting that person go from the organization. So but there are times where we understand that this is beyond our control, we cannot do or we cannot help it much. So I categorize those things into a bucket where it is beyond your control, but understanding it is the need of the hour. Even if we want to feel people centric, even if we are people centric, we really feel for our people, there are few decisions which we have to take. But as a leader, what is expected out of us, there is always a brighter side to show things. There is always a paradigm shift which you can have in that people's mindset, which I think you should concentrate on. So I hope it is somehow I'm able to relate to the.
No, Parul, yeah, I agree with you. You're talking about one corporate, probably, or two corporates where we need to take tough decisions to lay off people for whatever reason. Here we are talking about a nation, okay? And if we take tough decisions, it's good. Decisions are good. But the implementation part of it, laying off people could be much easier than imposing it on a nation of
Correct.
1.3 billion people. Okay.
Correct.
So don't you think we should always think of what could be the, not suffering probably, what could be the results or what could the repercussions or the impact on the people, the decision that you're taking?
Precisely right. I completely and strongly agree with you on that. That is why I always say we should be future ready. I'll give you another example that, now in today's time, we are open to spend 35,000 rupees or maybe 15,000 rupees for one day oxygen, because we were not future ready. We have not thought about it. We know the COVID happens. We knew that there are too many things which we have to implement. The only flaw was the execution. But yes, we are learning from our mistakes. Do you think that we should repeat the same problem in maybe, God forbid, if third wave would come, or maybe any other financial, any other economic crisis would come? We are learning with time, and that is why I always say we should evolve. We should keep experimenting things. I know your point. Experimenting with 1.3 billion people is not right. I know, and I am not being devil's advocate here. I completely agree with you. I am just saying that if any mistake happens, what should be the correct measure to think as a leader? Because गलती तो हो गई ना, what to do? अब उसके ऊपर बैठकर if we will just keep on interrogating, I think we should just try to fix the problem and then going back into the postmortem phase. So this is what I can only say. And again, I'm saying I am not talking in terms of I am not giving my political view. I am just trying to give the mindset that if COVID is a current time, demonetization was the current time for that era. Economic meltdown is the current time for that era, and that impacted millions and billions of people. But we had come out of it because we were keep on experimenting, we keep on cleaning and brushing up our own policies, and that's how here we are. And it's about I always say कि जीने का जज्बा नहीं छोड़ते ना. You are a fighter, and that any human being is a fighter. So we always fight and come our ways, make our ways to come out of that situation. So maybe again, no political views. It's just that I always connect what is happening in a broader light, in a world, so that everybody can connect to it, and what we do in the organization, the way we are taking decisions. Even after feeling so bad about people, we still have to make decisions, but we have to implement it in a fashion that it should impact the least amount of emotions and the families. This is the same way I think if everybody would start following, it's about again, choosing your battle. Which battle you want to choose? You want to choose all the battles and lose all the battles, or you want to choose only those battles where you actually win? So it is only about that. Else, I think you and me can connect, and we can dig more, and we can have more thought process, because this is very it is something, a great challenge which you have given me to think. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much, Parul, for all that you have shared so beautifully. There are so many more questions that people have posted, and we would want you to answer, but we are running out of time. So extremely sorry to all our participants. We will have to get back to you on your questions through email. Please email your questions to us. We will connect with Parul and revert in a day or two with responses. Thank you all for understanding.